Hey guys, welcome and thanks for watching. So I just realized that I missed 2 days of the weekend, plus I missed a Monday and a Tuesday. So today is Wednesday, and I'm posting after 5 days. So I was a little embarrassed because I didn't even realize I missed 2 days. So I think that's what habit forming is. You do it so often that it becomes a second nature. For example, in this example, for me to post videos every day. But anyways, let's move on. So on my other channel, I usually like to do videos which have videos in a series which have a certain theme or a certain topic. So I want to, take a stab at creating a series of, let's say, the 10 most important things a CISO should focus on. And I won't make it a 40-minute video or a 50-minute, 1 hour video. I'll just keep it short, 2 to 3 minutes. One video focusing on one topic. So I've got my notes actually because I couldn't remember all those things. So let's kick it off today with the first thing that a CISO should focus on. And the first in the list that I came up with was obviously, it may sound common sense, many of these in the subsequent videos as well. But the first one that I came up with is protecting your network infrastructure. That is definitely a focus of the CISO, not necessarily in priority order. So um, um, uh, watch these videos in any order, that's fine. It does not mean that if I mention it first, it's top priority. So, to kick it off, the first thing, protect organization's infrastructure. Now, definitely a CISO is accountable for the security of the organization's infrastructure, especially the networks in this example. Um, it may feel that it's common sense, may sound like it's common sense. A CISO can help protect the network infrastructure by implementing things like a firewall, a VPN, an IDS detection system, and an IPS, a prevention system, intrusion prevention system, and an intrusion detection system. Now, uh, I would admit that small businesses may find it hard to implement so many layers of protection, but I would say at a minimum, if you have a firewall that can double as a VPN concentrator, you, at least if you have these two things, you're well protected when it comes to intrusion and when it comes to secure access, secure remote access. So, but if you can, firewall, IPS, IDS, and a VPN. The second thing I would say would be, once you have all these things, you make sure that you monitor a network regularly, mainly if you have these things, because these devices can easily catch rogue activity, can easily detect or prevent malicious activity on your network. And the visibility is important, because if it's not visible, you can't protect against it. The third thing, again, may sound common sense, but is not done in many organizations. You would also need to focus on network segmentation and micro segmentation. But at the minimum, you should at least focus on network segmentation, because if, or so I should not say if, we know in cybersecurity it's only a matter of when. So when there is malicious activity or a breach or any sort of negative activity on your network, you would want it to be contained in a certain network segment only. Network segmentation also helps you divide your low priority network from your high priority network, and also the ones that have medium priority, into their certain silos, which are able to communicate with each other, but only on a need to know basis, or a as needed basis, I should say. So that's another thing. When it comes to networks, you will always have vulnerabilities, and you should always assess your vulnerabilities. And if you do not do it right now, either by regulation or as a good practice, perform penetration testing, not just of your servers or your applications, but mainly of your networks through any means possible. It could be a brute force, I mean, it could be from the outside in, it could be an internal activity, as well as social engineering, physical security, all of it. you need to make sure your network is protected, and you can test it using these methods. Another thing that could be implemented, should be a focus of a CISO, but could be implemented depending on how big your business is, how sophisticated or easy and simple your business is. Another thing that you could do is implement a network access control. This helps you protect your network from devices that you may not trust fully. It could be internal, so like a zero trust architecture. You could that could help you lay a foundation for a zero trust architecture, or fulfill certain portions of zero trust architecture. But definitely from devices where you do not recognize them. So if anyone brings their laptop and plugs it in, um, you need to protect your network from such devices, because you don't definitely not trust that device. So if possible, have a network access control. Um, when you have a network and when you have all these devices, you need to make sure they are well updated and upgraded to a certain level, mainly because you will find that you'll have vulnerabilities with older operating systems and older devices, as well as for performance sake as well, you would need to upgrade it. You could also move to the cloud, where you could do this far more easily than just having hardware devices. But in many cases, for physical locations, you do have hardware devices, but uh, uh, be sure that you upgrade them and update them up to a certain tolerable level, and do not go too old, or for the fear of or for the risk of having obsolete software controlling your devices, which could be compromised. And the last thing I would say is that once you do all these activities, you would have your network, you would have the hardware devices protecting your network, you would have these processes like pen testing, you would have processes of being alerted, you would have the processes of updating and upgrading your software. Be sure to have a governance over all these things, because a governance is something that joins the pieces together and makes sure this machinery of protecting your network infrastructure per se runs well. If you have the governance and you put it in practice, all these pieces will fit together, and you will be able to have a more secure network than if you do not have any of these things. So let me know what you think. These were my thoughts on how a CISO can protect the company's network infrastructure. And this is the first video in the series of 10 things a CISO needs to have his or her focus on. And hopefully, let me know your comments. Hopefully, you agree with some of these. Let me know what additional comments you have about things that can protect a company's network infrastructure. Let me know in the comment section. I shall see you tomorrow with the second video, or the second topic in this series on how on the things that a CISO should focus on. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I should see you tomorrow. I should keep it. I should make a habit out of this. Anyways, so hope to see you tomorrow. Have a good evening, and stay safe.